My name, Harry Martin Hull Jr., Air Force.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Hull, were you drafted?
No, I enlisted.
What was the reason to enlist?
The world situation is just about like it was in 48 when I enlisted, 13 September 48. There wasn't any jobs for a young kid, and I was out of school, and I wanted to further my education, and I joined the Air Force. First year I went to Germany on the Berlin Airlift. We spent 36 months over at Rhine-Main Air Base, crossroads right now of the world, and we flew the Berlin Airlift. I flew for 3 years and got off of it. Belly landed 3 or 4 times. It was kind of bad over there. It was rainy, mud, stuff like that.
When you say belly landed, what is that? Tell Marquise what that means.
Well, your wheels wouldn't work right on the airplane, see?
Okay.
And we scooted in on mud PSP, which wasn't concrete yet. It was PSP, steel. And we just flew in there and landed C-47 aircraft. And then we went to C-54s. And then I got off and went into administrative work.
Okay.
Then I stayed there. Then I left, came home in 52 flew back from Rhine-Main to, I'm from Payson, Illinois, here, and still in the Air Force. And what's your other questions?
It says that you also served in Korea.
I served in Korea, yes, Seoul.
So what were your duties over there? Responsibilities?
Administrative personnel. I worked in the administration personnel room.
And in Vietnam, you said you ran a computer room?
Yes.
You know what you did there?
We had punch card accounting, which we had a card on everybody in Vietnam in our organization. And we had one big machine that we used, and we indicated everything at our headquarters from Da Nang, where we were stationed. And it was just a punch card accounting system. Instead of writing with a pen, we used a punch card.
Okay. And it also says that you survived 87 rocket attacks. Can you share one of those experiences?
We had, when I was at Da Nang, we had 87 rocket attacks. They would fly the rockets in from outer space somewhere, and they would burst there pretty close to us. And once in a while they would blow up one of our barracks, and we were pretty fortunate they didn't hit us, the one I was in. But they really didn't do too much damage. But we built a new barracks over there, and we just got it built, and they threw a rocket in there and blew it up. Nobody lived in it. And that was our 87 rocket attacks. The time I was over there, 387 days I was there.
It says here 3 cat offensive. Can you explain what that is?
North of us, north of the DMZ line, we had a Marine outfit up there, and they had an outfit. That was your fighters, the Marines up there. And they had the Tets. North Vietnam wouldn't let them out. They wouldn't let them do anything, you know. And they had rockets and all that kind of stuff. And we had to help them out by throwing up food up to them, dropped them in the airplane. They had one runway. We landed on that and dropped the food out for the boys up there. Finally got them done, you know. That was the Tet Offensives. That's when it was really dangerous.
According to your medals, you have a Bronze Star,
Yes.
Customer Service Medal,
Mm.
and a Longevity Award. Do any of those hold any some kind of importance?
I got all kinds of medals here. On 214s, it's got, if you wanted to see them. See, here's some here. Some over here.
Does that come with the medal? Is that how that works? You get that the document and you also get a medal with that?
No, they give you the medals. Here's the Air Force Good Conduct Medal with one oak leaf cluster that on this one. Every time you're discharged or anything, they put it on your 214. But here's Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, 2 Bronze Stars, Air Force Outstanding Unit Award, Vietnam, Presidential Unit Citation, Air Force Good Conduct Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters, and the Air Force Longevity Service Award. I had 24, I think I had total war.
Are you curious about any particular medal?
On the Bronze Star, can you explain that some more?
I got the Bronze Star in Vietnam. We had to in the computer room. We had to go back and we had a lot of cards, I guess you'd call them, that the guys had left. We had to go all through them, and we worked at night until we got it done, and we had to bounce out of the room there for a while because of rocket attacks. But we got it done, and I was put in for the Bronze Star, and I got it. I wasn't even thinking about it, you know. But that was a good award. I got a picture right here of it. Right here. It's Colonel Kelly. That's me right there. That's the Bronze Star, but it was when he presented it.
Now, you know what? We can actually hold this up and show the camera. You want to do that?
You can't help
You
it.
just hold it right up here. I think I got to go this way. Somebody's going to see it. You can talk a little bit about that picture if you want to. Tell us about
That was just had to be awarded by an officer, and he was the commander at. I was at Augsburg, Germany when I got it.
You got a lot of stuff in that scrapbook.
Yep. Yeah. That's the Duke University instructors.
And now, what instructors is that?
Air Force ROTC.
Pilot instructors? Or what
No,
instructors?
ROTC.
ROTC.
Huh?
ROTC.
Yeah.
ROTC.
I was a personnel man there.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a rifle team, Duke, and it was, we used to go to North Carolina, and had an all-color college in Durham. We used to go down there and perform. They had one, they performed. And we had real good camaraderie with the schools. Yeah, everywhere.
Good thing.
Baseball, basketball, everything.
Now, you said Duke.
Yeah.
I got to ask him this question. Did you watch the national championship? basketball?
I've watched every one of them.
Well, I gotta tell you, this isn't part of the interview. I was kind of hoping for Butler University to win the championship.
Everybody was,
Indiana.
yeah. Well, Duke was very lucky to win.
They were. It was a very, very tight game.
Butler played real good ball.
They sure did.
61 to 59. That's,
And that last shot, they almost got it.
yes, sure did.
But he's a Duke man. You were probably pulling for Duke too, weren't you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I thought you were. I thought that's what you told.
You was pulling for Duke,
Yeah.
were you?
Well, you got some other questions there?
Yes, since you served in Korea, Vietnam, and Germany, what made you enlist in multiple platoons?
Do what?
What made you come back to enlist in Vietnam, Germany, and Berlin? What the reason for going back and enlisting?
Come back to,
Did you re-enlist or how did you?
well, I re-enlisted every time my service was up. See, I was steady from 48 to 75.
Okay. Why did you feel like re-enlisting? You think that's
There wasn't any jobs from where I'm from, Payson, Illinois, no good, and I'd call my dad and ask him about it, and he'd say no work available, So I got to the point of no return, so I just stayed in. And you get so much service time behind you, you don't want to go out and leave it.
Yeah.
I didn't anyway. Now I'm glad I stayed in,
Yeah.
And I had all good service, good places to live, good officers to work for. My family liked it, and I didn't travel too much, to tell you the truth about it. I did by myself, but the family, we traveled from California, out in California mainly, Edwards Air Force Base, seen the astronauts train, I seen the shuttle and all that stuff. I interviewed Colonel Aldrin. He walked on the moon,
Buzz Aldrin?
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. And he was our commander of the Aerospace Research Pilot School at Edwards Air Force Base, which they taught the pilots to fly every airplane, supersonic type planes all the time. And he was a nice guy, and he's still going. Yeah, Stafford, those guys, I've seen them all. Seen all the shuttles land and take off and stuff like that. Yeah, real interesting.
I believe he's been around a little bit.
Yeah.
You got some more?
Yes. How did you achieve Chief Master Sergeant?
And what?
How did you achieve Chief Master Sergeant?
I was promoted to Chief Master Sergeant when I was at Edwards Air Force Base after coming back from Nam. And I really can't tell you why I got it, but I went up for promotion and they made me. They promoted me.
It must have been good enough.
Well, I had good training, college, and that's what they was looking for. Stuff like that. I worked for a major at Duke, and we used to send the cadets to a real base, but I guess the money got tight, and they didn't do that anymore, and we had to stay there, and we didn't have any school in the summertime, and said, well, it would be a good time for me to go to school. So I went to school, and I said, don't take history. If I get in trouble, I'll ask the major. See? That's what I done. So that's how, I guess they looked at my background and stuff like that when I come out of Duke. Yeah. I was promoted at Edwards Air Force Base.
During your whole service, did you make any buddies, friends you still stay in touch with?
I made a lot of acquaintances. It's kind of a fact that you're in the service and you make friends, of course, acquaintances, but you leave and then you forget them. Yeah, I had I still got a lot of friends that I knew when I was in and they were in. Yeah. Some of them are gone. Some of them are still running around. Some of them are all out. We're all out civilian, you know. We served our time and that's it.
So were you married before you were enlisted?
Huh?
So were you married before you were enlisted?
Yeah.
Have any children?
I have 2 kids, boy and a girl. They're both in California. Mike's an aeronautical engineer and Kimmy's a veterinary. My son was the lead engineer on the stealth bomber out there. He was home and said, "Turn on the TV, Dad, I'll show you the stealth bomber." I didn't even know he was making it. It was highly classified. Turned it on and it showed him backing out of the hangar. All you could see was the nose of it, but you couldn't see any more of it.
Now, I got a question. Was he not allowed to tell you about the stealth bomber?
You couldn't talk about it.
That was top class.
Yeah. It's still pretty classified, not like it was. But when they were making it, nobody knew anything about it. I didn't know. And he wasn't allowed to talk about it, which he didn't. I got a call one night, said, "You know Michael Joseph Hull?" You know, and I said, "Yeah, that's my son." And I didn't know who I was talking to. The guy was getting them clearance. You know. Make sure that
tell the truth about who it was.
Yeah, yeah. Want to know his mother, his grandmother, his grandpa, and they want to know where he went to school, and all that stuff, you know. Yeah, yeah. He got out of high school, and I said, "Well, Mike, you want to go to college or you want to join the Air Force?" He said, "I've been in the Air Force, Dad, 18 years."
I get it.
Yeah. Born and raised in the Air Force, eh? Yeah. Never forget that. Yeah. I didn't know anything about the stealth bomber. Nobody else did until it come out. Yeah. Highly classified. Yeah. That's you can't detect it when it's in the air.
It doesn't reflect radar.
That's right. Radar can't detect it.
Now, I want to ask a question. Does your son know about any other top secret aircraft that he's not allowed to tell anybody about?
No. Not to my knowledge.
He wouldn't be able to tell you if he did.
No. He wouldn't tell me. He couldn't tell me. Yeah.
I've never met anybody that knew any background on the cell phone.
They made another airplane that they could fly at 35,000 feet and tell you what you got in your billfold.
I'm not sure I want them to know what I got in my billfold.
No.
That's my private.
That's right, yeah. But they can detect anything at 35,000.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He did tell me that, and that's all he told me.
Can I ask another question? What's your feeling about the war effort now? Because we're over in Afghanistan. Do you have some reflection on that?
Well, yes, I have. As far as I'm concerned, I think we were wrong by going into Afghanistan. We were wrong going into Vietnam, and we was wrong going into Korea, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But we went in there, and I think that the people of the countries appreciated us. I'm not sure, but I feel that they do. But I think the leadership of Afghanistan is going to have to be going out. That Karzai, I think he's going to be a detriment. As they say, he's a detriment to society. I think he's going to be a bad boy. I don't know how Obama's going to handle it, but as far as I'm concerned, they ought to bring them all home. You know.
A lot of people feel that same way.
Yes.
Now, see, we talk about that in class too. So these guys are old enough that they can
Yeah.
They brought back conscription, and they did draft again.
Yeah.
They could be drafted.
Well, I think it's really, really bad as many guys that we lost over there in Iraq. It's pitiful. We lost enough in Korea and Vietnam. Let alone.
Enough's enough.
Yes, it is. I think so. I think we got just biggest power in any country, but hard to handle.
You got anything else you want to
Really.
ask? Trying to get you guys to dig in, dig deep.
Yeah.
Now, the unit you served in was the 60th motor vehicle
Hmm?
in Germany.
Old man.
Like the division you served in Germany was the squadron.
Squadron?
Was the 60th.
That was the name of the squadron was Rhine-Main, Germany, 60th Motor Vehicle Squadron.
Okay.
Because during the Berlin airlift, you needed a lot of trucks, cars, not cars, but different trucks and stuff to haul the supplies to the aircraft so they could fly it to Berlin. And that's how they got started. General Tunner said, well, we can't go through the roads where we'll fly over them. Russia had Berlin blocked. They wouldn't let anybody into Berlin. So Tunner said, we're going to fly over them. And that's how we got food and stuff into them. They hauled coal, flour, sugar, syrups, anything they could use by aircraft. Then pretty soon, while they opened up the roads, the Russians found out they couldn't be the big guns, so they quit. Yeah.
So another question I want to tell you here. What do you think of the food that you got in the military service? How was food?
I will have to say that I've never had a bad meal when I was eating in the mess hall. And that was before I was married and everything. We had in England when I was there, we had the Hennessy Mess Hall, they call it. We won the Hennessy Award. The best food, the way they served it, the variety of it, and all that stuff. Beautiful. It was a hell of a lot better in there than it is here.
Did you hear that? Now, do you want this tape to go back over here to the mess hall?
I don't care where you send it. It's the honest truth.
That's what we want.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to get is the honest truth.
That's right.
So, we appreciate the courage to talk about how the food really is. You got anything else you want to do to wrap this up?
Is it enough to share in photographs in
In here?
Yes.
I got a lot of pictures.
Give us a story out of there. One story that will wrap us up and make the interview a big climax of the interview.
Well, in California, when I was at Edwards Air Force Base, I was a chairman of the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, and Bob Hope
Ben, there you go.
Bob Hope was made the chairman, the name of the chapter down at March Air Force Base, the Bob Hope chapter. And we all went down there for a big supper and met Bob Hope and all that stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now there's
See,
there's a famous guy.
That's Jimmy Stewart.
Is that you?
Yes, me.
You know, can I get I'm going to hold this up. You guys see that? You knew this? Look at this guy here. You recognize this guy?
Jimmy Stewart.
You guys know who Jimmy Stewart
I interviewed him in Los Angeles.
Hold it up here and try to get it. You interviewed him in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
Talk about that interview while I'm holding the picture. What did you say to him?
He walked up to me and he said, Sergeant, I'm a bomber pilot and an aircraft maintenance officer, and I don't want anything to do with motion pictures.
He said that? Or
I
you-
said that.
You said that?
Jimmy Stewart said that to me.
You did?
Yeah. See, we used the dictionary of occupational titles of everybody walked up to us and say, what did you do, like a bartender or a preacher or something like that. So he looked under the occupational titles, and we found what would be that number,
Yeah.
in it. Uh-huh. And he walked up to me and he said he was a bomber pilot and an aircraft maintenance officer. And he said, I don't want anything to do with motion pictures. Jimmy Stewart said that.
That, you heard it here first. I had never, I wouldn't have imagined that. One of the most famous guys that ever did film.
Yeah. He's dead now.
Yeah.
Well, Stewart did. He was a brigadier general. He was called back to Washington, D.C., the Pentagon, for a year as he was a brigadier general, and he flew B-52s.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bomber pilot.
Yeah, Stewart did.
That not, my generation, I'm a little older than you guys. I remember Jimmy Stewart.
You remember Gene Raymond?
Gene Raymond, yes. Gene, I'm trying to remember what he did.
I don't know what he did. I didn't. He's right here. That's
Yeah.
him. He was a major.
I recognize that guy.
He was a major. I didn't know that. I interviewed him too.
So a lot of these, it makes me wonder if a lot of these guys, before they were ever in the movies, they were also probably serving.
Yes.
in the military.
Yes, they were.
And I wonder how many people did.
The Air Force got the team together. They wanted to know how many reservists they could call back in case of an all-out aggression that was available in their spec, in their code, could be called back without any problem. That's what that team was for. And Stewart was one of them. And General Eisenhower was the president, President Eisenhower. And if the captain couldn't make major, they had to leave the service years before that. And this captain walked up to me and he said he was an FBI agent. And I said, wait, I got to get your record out of the safe. Because nobody knew the FBI people in the service. No, he said I was fired by Ike.
Fired by Ike.
Yeah, FBI. Yeah.
There's a good place to end it right on that note. That was a good place to do that.
Met all kind of people, boy.
You sure did.
Yeah.
So
Well, Marquis,
thank you for your time and your story, and that today was an honor and a pleasure.
Good deal. I'm glad to meet you guys.
yes.
Best of luck to you in your schooling,
Thank you.
and don't quit.
I'm sure